Imagine your car catching fire tonight while you are asleep. The engine is off. The key is out. Nobody is inside the vehicle. It is just sitting in your garage. But somewhere inside, one small part is overheating. A battery cell is short-circuiting. Or a charging system is silently turning dangerous. And the scariest part is this: some owners have already lived through it. Some saw smoke while their vehicle was charging. Some found out their parked car had caught fire. Others faced engine fires while driving at highway speed. Today, we are looking at 7 vehicles connected to serious fire risks, recalls, and real-world incidents. If you own one of these vehicles, do not skip this video, because at the end, I will show you the 5 steps you should take right now to protect yourself, your family, and your home. Number 7. Ford and Lincoln models with engine block heater fire risk. We begin with Ford and Lincoln, and the problem comes from a part many drivers never even think about: the engine block heater. In cold areas, owners plug in their vehicles overnight so the engine can start more easily in freezing weather. Normally, this is a useful feature, but in some Ford and Lincoln models, the block heater cord can overheat, melt its own insulation, and create a fire risk while the vehicle is parked and plugged in. Think about that. You plug in your truck before going to bed. You park it in the garage. You go inside and sleep. But while you are asleep, that cord may be quietly overheating near your home. Ford's warning is clear: until the repair is completed, do not use the engine block heater. Do not plug it in. For drivers in cold states, this is more than an inconvenience. Many people rely on this system every winter morning. But this is not about comfort. This is about the safety of your garage, your house, and everyone inside it. If your Ford or Lincoln has an engine block heater, check the recall status with your VIN before using it again. Number 6. Subaru Forester Hybrid and Crosstrek Hybrid. When people think of Subaru, they often think of safety. All-wheel drive, family use, outdoor adventures, and a strong reputation for dependability. Subaru owners usually trust their vehicles deeply. That is why fire risk concerns involving the Forester Hybrid and Crosstrek Hybrid are so damaging to the brand's image. The issue is connected to the hybrid battery system. A manufacturing defect may allow internal components to short-circuit. And in a lithium-ion battery, a short circuit is not a small problem. It can mean fire risk. What makes this even more worrying is that the risk may not only happen while driving. It can happen while the vehicle is parked and turned off. Many Subaru owners park their vehicles inside attached garages. Families, campers, outdoor lovers, people who trust their car enough to leave it sitting overnight. Now that trust becomes a concern. Some affected owners have been told to contact dealers and follow safe parking instructions, including keeping the vehicle away from enclosed structures. But when parts are not immediately available, owners are left waiting. They keep making payments on a vehicle they may not feel safe parking inside their own home. Subaru's promise has always been safety, but in this case, that promise is being seriously tested. Number 5. Volvo EX30. This one is especially important because we are not talking about an old vehicle with years of wear and tear. We are talking about a newer electric vehicle. Volvo has built its identity around safety for decades. This is the brand known for the 3-point seatbelt, one of the most important safety inventions in automotive history. But the EX30 battery issue is something every EV buyer should pay attention to. According to the source material, some battery cells may develop microscopic lithium plating. That can lead to internal short circuits. And inside an electric vehicle battery, internal short circuits can increase the risk of fire. Some owners were reportedly instructed to park outside, limit charging to 70%, and wait for a permanent solution. Now think about what that means in daily life. If your car is rated for around 275 miles of range at a full charge, limiting it to 70% reduces your usable range significantly. Maybe that is manageable for daily commuting, but for road trips, it changes everything. Your charging stops change, your planning changes, your range anxiety increases. The excitement of owning a new EV can quickly turn into stress. And the most ironic part is this: a brand built around safety is telling new owners to treat their fresh vehicle as a possible fire risk. That is not just a technical recall, that is a major test of customer trust. Number 4. Mercedes-Benz EQB. This case is frightening because the problem happened while the driver was inside the vehicle at a charging station. Picture the situation. You are at a public EV charging station. You are sitting inside your car, waiting for the battery to charge. Maybe you are checking your phone. Maybe you are planning your route. Maybe you are just a few minutes away from leaving. Then you hear a loud pop. Seconds later, thick gray-white smoke starts coming from the vehicle. That is one of the reasons electric vehicle battery fires are so dangerous. Gray-white smoke from a lithium-ion battery is not ordinary smoke. When thermal runaway begins, the gases released can be toxic and flammable. So the danger is not only the flames, The smoke itself can be extremely hazardous. You do not want to breathe it in, and you definitely do not want to be trapped inside a car that is producing it. There is another serious problem. If an EV is plugged into a charger, the system may not allow the vehicle to move. So if thermal runaway begins while you are sitting inside a charging vehicle, driving away may not be an option. Your only option may be to open the door and get away fast. But not everyone can escape quickly. What if there is an elderly person inside? What if there is a child? What if someone panics? What if the door system does not work properly? This is why the Mercedes-Benz EQB situation is not only about the vehicle. It also raises questions about charging station safety. Many charging locations do not have clear emergency stop buttons. Some do not have obvious shut-off systems for first responders. At gas stations, emergency stop systems have been standard for years, but EV charging infrastructure still needs serious improvement in many places. When emergency crews arrive at an EV fire, they should be able to cut power quickly and safely. If they cannot, the danger becomes even worse. And if a premium brand like Mercedes can be connected to these kinds of concerns, it shows that the EV industry still has important safety problems to solve. Electric vehicles may be the future, but that future needs stronger safety systems, clearer emergency procedures, and better protection for drivers. Number 3. Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Now we are entering the most serious part of the list. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe is not a cheap vehicle. Some owners paid around $65,000, $70,000, or even $75,000 for this premium family SUV. This is supposed to be one of Jeep's flagship models, but some owners have been told not to charge the vehicle, not to park it in the garage, and to keep it away from structures. Think about how frustrating that is. You buy a plug-in hybrid for electric driving, fuel savings, and modern technology. You pay extra for that system. Then you are told, do not charge it for now. At that point, your plug-in hybrid becomes a heavier gasoline SUV. The battery is still there. The extra weight is still there. The hybrid system is still there. But you cannot safely use the electric part that you paid for. The issue is linked to battery cells and damaged separators. These separators are thin parts inside the battery that keep the positive and negative sides from touching. If they fail, a short circuit can happen. And if that short circuit spreads through the battery pack, thermal runaway can follow. That is when smoke, heat, and fire can rapidly escalate. What makes the Grand Cherokee 4xe situation even more troubling is the repair history. According to the source material, software-based fixes were introduced before, but fires were still reported in some vehicles that had already received repairs. That is a major red flag for owners, because if the real problem is physical damage inside the battery, a software update may not be enough to solve it permanently. This leaves owners asking serious questions. When will the real fix arrive? Is my vehicle actually safe? Can I use this SUV with my family inside? And maybe the most painful question, I paid all this money, so why am I still waiting for answers? For Grand Cherokee 4xe owners, this is not just a technical issue anymore. It is about trust. It is about confidence. It is about whether a premium SUV can still feel premium when the owner is told not to charge it and not to park it near the house. That is why this vehicle is so high on the list. Number 2. Jeep Wrangler 4xe battery fires. The Wrangler is not just another vehicle. It is an icon. People buy a Wrangler for adventure, freedom, off-roading, camping, mountains, mud, and personality. But the battery fire concerns around the Wrangler 4xe have damaged that adventurous image. According to the source material, the same battery-related defect led to multiple recalls. At first, a smaller number of vehicles were affected. Then the recall expanded. Software updates were issued, and owners were told the issue was being handled. But reports of fires continued in some vehicles that had already received repairs. That is one of the worst situations for an owner. You take your vehicle to the dealer. The update is installed. You are told the problem is fixed. Then more reports appear, and the confidence disappears again. In a plug-in hybrid, the battery is not only about electric range. It affects weight, fuel economy, performance, and the entire purpose of the vehicle. If you are told to keep the battery depleted and avoid charging, you are no longer using the vehicle as intended. So Wrangler 4xe owners may ask, why did I pay extra for the hybrid version? And that is a fair question, because if you cannot safely use the hybrid system, you are left with a heavier and more complicated vehicle. This is why the Wrangler 4xe battery issue is near the top of the list. It affects a famous model, a large number of owners, and Jeep's adventure-focused reputation. Number 1, Jeep Wrangler 4xe engine fires. And now we reach number 1. Again, it is the Jeep Wrangler 4xe. But this time, the problem is not the battery, it is the engine itself. According to the source material, some Wrangler 4xe and Grand Cherokee 4xe models were connected to engine failures, fires, and injuries. The cause is shocking because it sounds so basic. Some engine blocks were reportedly not cleaned properly after casting. That means sand and debris could remain inside the engine. Those contaminants can restrict oil flow. When oil flow is restricted, internal engine parts may not receive proper lubrication. That can lead to internal damage, engine failure, and in some cases, fire. Here is why this is so serious. Battery fire warnings are often connected to parking or charging, but engine fire risk can happen while driving, on the highway, at speed, with your family inside, with no time to react. Some drivers may get warning signs, like knocking noises or a check engine light, but others may get little or no warning at all. That is why this is number 1. The same vehicle line is facing concerns involving two different fire risks: battery risk and engine risk. One vehicle, two separate dangers. At this point, this is not a small technical issue. This is a safety issue. So what should you do if you own one of the vehicles on this list? Step 1. Check your recall status with your VIN. Do not guess. Do not assume your vehicle is safe because it looks normal. Recalls can depend on production date, battery pack, engine batch, or specific equipment. You cannot know just by looking at the car. Step 2. Follow all parking and charging warnings from the manufacturer. If they tell you to park outside, take it seriously. If they tell you not to charge the vehicle, do not treat that like a casual suggestion. Those warnings are meant to reduce risk. Step 3. Contact your dealer and get your name on the repair list. Parts may be limited. Service appointments may take time. The earlier you act, the better. Step 4. Document everything. Keep recall letters, service records, emails, dealer messages, and repair orders. If you later need warranty support, legal help, or a vehicle replacement discussion, those documents may matter. Step 5. If you are buying used, always check the VIN first. Do not rely only on the seller saying the car is fine. Ask for proof that recall repairs were completed. Trust, but verify. Modern cars are no longer just about choosing a brand. The real questions are deeper now. Which engine does it have? Which battery pack does it use? Which model year is it? What recalls are open? Were the repairs actually completed? A logo can make a vehicle feel safe, but real safety begins with verified information. If you own one of these vehicles, check your recall status as soon as possible. A 30-second VIN search could protect your garage, your home, and your family. If this video helped you, hit the like button and subscribe for more automotive safety updates, recall news, and vehicle reliability content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.